Turning Point Madison County's mission is to get the proper information into the hands of the people needing help, provide guidance, emergency assistance, and needed ongoing support.
And I'm broken down. Oh, life has got you twisted.
This is Erica, and this is my story. I was arrested on May 6th of 2021. I was running out of state. I'd cut off an ankle bracelet and I'd taken off. And I got arrested. I was on my way to get fentanyl heroin. And when I went to jail, I got very, very sick. I was laying in a detox floor with my head next to a toilet with somebody sitting on it. I was puking on myself. I was having seizures. And I just kind of laid there and thought, this is not going to work for me. I'm going to die this way. If I don't quit, if I get back out, I will die. And that's how I ended up at the Grace House. Incarceration was one of the crappiest things I've ever been through, having to use the bathroom in front of everybody, having to wear like a one-piece onesie type thing that I'm pretty sure that other people had probably gotten sick in. I just didn't want to do that. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to open up to anybody. Being incarcerated kind of changes me in the way that, like, it kind of makes me a bully, kind of. It makes me not human. It makes me more of a bitch and less of a woman. And it just, it changes who you are physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It just kind of takes a lot out of you. And it's just not any way that anybody should have to live. I learned that I was worth it, that I was worth trying to change what I was doing, that I was tired of being a junkie, being a needle junkie, stealing from people to get my next fix, stealing from stores, anything that wasn't chained down or nailed down, I was taking it so I could flip it for something. I was tired of being a low life. I was tired of not being around my kids. I was tired of a lot of things. And what I learned the most, I think, was that God created me for a reason, and it wasn't to be a junkie. He created me for much bigger purposes. Today, my life is just unspeakably blessed. Even on my hardest days, I know that I have a big support group. I have a higher power. I have a family that loves me unconditionally, no matter how bad I screw up here. That they're always going to be there for me. That there's nothing I can't tell them that I've done that they're going to judge me for. My kids are talking to me again. I can be a mom again, even though it's just over the phone right now. It's still opening up a door that wasn't there before because I was too strung out to talk to them. Like, I have a job, I have a car, I have a home to go to every day and lay my head down. I've got food to eat. I've got all the things that I never had before in addiction because I was too busy selling it to get my next fix.
Dreams.
My future dream is to open up my own halfway house after I get where I need to be, so that I can help other women that were just like me, lost and hopeless and laying in a jail cell floor, to know that they don't have to die that way. There's so much more for you. The last thing that I really want to say here is that you're worth it. You are so worth it. Even if you don't see it, other people do. There are people that love you and they want you to do better for yourself more than you might want to at this point. But there's a way out of a lot of things. And coming to Grace House and putting in some effort to change everything about me was how that was done for me.
My name is Crystal, and this is my story. Okay, in 2015, I got a dealing charge for dealing methamphetamine, and it was a level 5. I got um, I got 6 years. I did 4 of that. 2 of it was on house arrest, and 2 of it ended up getting executed. Um, in the meantime, I lost the rights of my children. I have 3 kids and 2 girls and a boy. I was a stay-at-home mom. The first time to prison didn't teach me anything. Um, I went to prison again for 3 level 6s, and that still didn't teach me anything. I continued to use. Once then, I had lost my children's rights completely, and there was a closed adoption. I do not see my children to this day. Still fighting to be involved in their lives. I went back to jail, 3 more occurrences. The last charge I got was a level 5 possession of meth. That was a level 6, and they enhanced it to a level 5. I now face 6 years. IDOC. But instead of doing that, I came to the Grace House, and that's where I am at now. Incarceration. Incarceration was horrible. I was a mother of 3 kids, and I was a stay-at-home mom. Then I went from there to having to transition into being an inmate and losing everything. I hit rock bottom, and I lost everything I had, my whole entire family, my kids, my husband, everything. I lost everything. It was very hard to transition to being around women all the time. It was hard to transition to being not having any personal life anymore. Everything was, you were told what to do or where to go or how to feel or how not to feel, or you were too scared to cry because you didn't want to feel humiliated in front of people, or you did cry and you didn't know if you're going to have to fight afterwards, or there was just a lot of humiliation and a lot of things that you didn't know how to deal with as a person, and it really made you shut down mentally. So with everything that was going on already physically around you, you were also changing mentally. You were also learning to build up walls and not be yourself and hide things and not open up. So I'm going to say the transition was hard. You dealt with it, but it was hard. What I learned about this process is that don't give up. No matter what you've been through in life, no matter what goes on, doesn't mean you have to stay being that person. You don't have to stay being that woman. And you always fight for whatever it is. There's always hope. There's always a way out, even when it looks like there's not a way out. Like I said, I have 3 children, and I get to talk to them rarely when their grandparents let them. And sometimes it's not the right way, but I put myself in this position. So the things that I've learned with everything is in my recovery, there's hope. When I was still using in an active addiction, there wasn't any hope because I kept making the wrong choices and the wrong decisions, and I didn't have my mindset right. So with every bad decision came with 10 different lies and 10 different ways of not being myself, not being truly who I was. So I wasn't happy. I just kept digging myself in a bigger hole. Now that I'm in recovery, well, things actually, the promises are coming together, and my life is looking better. I'm mentally more stable than how I was when life throws a bad, I guess, life event at me. I know how to make the right decision and keep going, even though it might not seem the right way at that time. It's have more of a positive outcome now. My life today is better. I have hope in my life. I have a support group that I never thought I would have in my life. I've made amends to my family and the ones that are willing to forgive me and that are willing to be back in my life. I have family. I have the support that I've never had. I have a new family that is progressing every day, which is here at the Grace House. And I don't know what I would do without my sisters. I stay sober. They help me keep myself grounded and make the right choices. And when the day feels like it's just things are crumbling around me, it seems like they're there. The love's there. It's a love that I've never found. No man has ever gave me any of that type of love, but my family has. And the love I feel like that I'm searching for today is still with my children. It still resides with my children. And there's still hope that I can be involved with them every day. I just have to keep making the right decision. I understand that you hit rock bottom, and maybe you might have another rock bottom that you're going to hit again. And you're going to come through it. It's going to be better. There is hope and there's better ways to think. And it's not always going to be so lonely and so hopeless. There is help if you're willing to work to get to it. It's not easy and you have to change everything. It sounds crazy when they say that you have to change everything, like nothing changes, but everything changes. That's so cliche, but it's so true. And if you're just willing to admit to that, change and commit to it, it is phenomenal. Everything is better in your life and you can help the next person get there. And hopefully that's what I can do for you today.
Hi, my name is Mimi, and this is my story. I didn't start using drugs until after I had surgery and was prescribed pain pills and things by my doctors. Pain pill addiction turned into quite a few other addictions, into some harder drugs. In the meantime, I got married 5 times to 4 different people while I was in my active addiction, been in and out of jail more times than I'd like to count. I've been on house arrest, but being on house arrest and everything didn't stop me. I kept using and kept using until I actually hit a brick wall and ended myself back in a jail cell for the very last time, looking at prison time. Incarceration for me was very scary when it happened. And every time that I was incarcerated, I thought that I had found Jesus and thought that this was going to be my last time. And if only I could get out, I would stop. And I did this for just a very short amount of time when I did get out. And every time was the same. And I ended right back up doing the same thing, doing drugs, running around, stealing, and things like that. Have some forgeries on my record and things like that that turned me into the jail again for my 4th house arrest violation. That was the last time I was in jail in the darkest valley. I learned that doing things over and over and expecting a different result is definitely insanity. I learned that I can only ask God for so much. I've got to do my part. So I learned that if I was going to change, I was the one that had to do it. Nobody was going to do it for me. I learned that I didn't want to see another jail cell. And I wanted to see what it was like on the other side, trying to do the right thing. It means freedom, happiness, joy that I get to share my story with others and help others along the way. And to show everyone, and myself first and foremost, that I'm stronger than any drug. My life today is great. After that last incarceration on my 4th house arrest violation, I was given the opportunity to come to the Grace House. And I came to the Grace House knowing that if I was terminated or left the program, I would be going to prison, and that was not in my future, in my eyes. So I graduated the Grace House. I stayed around the Grace House as a house mom to help others. I now work at a treatment center for Grace Recovery and Wellness, and I'm also the women's director of the Sober Living here at Grace House. Today, when I look back, I'm grateful for where I'm at today. I feel that I have a great story to share with others. My family, my recovery family, God, myself. I love myself today. When I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed, I sit and I try to pray, and I try to look back on the things that I've been through, because I know that I never want to go back there, but I don't forget where I came from. And I'm very grateful and blessed for the life that I have today.
Hey, hey, now. Gather round. I got something to say to you. Listen, you don't know what's waiting, but it's waiting for you. Just what other people think drive the things you do. I'll let you in on a secret. Listen carefully, they're not thinking about you. They're not thinking about you. Walk out of the darkness into the light. Believe in yourself, you gotta put up a fight. You put your left foot out there in front of your right. Walk out of the darkness and run to the light. Oh, oh, I won't let this world get me down. Gonna get up, stand up, turn this thing around. Make the old devil regret that he ever even messed with the likes of me. First I crawled,